G'day ladies and gents, we're back with another Swiss Army knife review. We've done the Camper, we've done the Huntsman, we've done the Explorer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Victorinox Hunter. Alright, let's check it out. Righto teams, as you can see, here's a better look at the Huntsman here. It's part of Victorinox 111mm series. See, it's got that cool little deer emblem on it there, which I thought was it's a pretty mad touch. I'm not sure how long it'll last after heavy use, but you can also see that it's got a different textured grip on it here. The scales are a different texture, and it actually feels quite grippy in the hand. But yeah, it's a very lightweight knife and quite unique. So let's take a look at some of the features of it. Righto team, we're going to do the awl first off. Reamer, leather punch, whatever you call it, but it's primarily for leather work, which is handy to have out bush, very useful. It's got that little sewing eye on there. You want to knock up a quick axe sheath or something to pass them hours away out bush, but very awesome tool. Be used for, you know, like a primitive drilling into wood if you need that out bush, but my primary use for it is definitely striking a fire steel. But the awl, that's always a very handy tool, and they're almost on every Swiss Army knife I own, so I think they're always a cool addition, and it's a very robust little point on it there and quite a sharp edge. So yeah, the awl, little ripper. Okay, next up team, we've got the corkscrew. Don't have many natural uses for the corkscrew myself other than opening a bottle of wine, but most wines now have that little twisty cap on them anyways. I haven't seen a cork bottle of wine for a good time, but a lot of people say this is handy for undoing knots, stuff like that. I've never used it for that purpose, to be honest, but I have seen there is these little tinder bundles now and ferro rods that can screw down in there. You can also get the little mini drivers, you know, eyeglass drivers, are real tiny little screwdrivers. It's a handy spot to store one of them, and they're very useful. So I might, I don't know, look into an additional whacking even a mini screwdriver or that little tinder bundle with ferro rod in there, possibly in the future. But yeah, the corkscrew, I don't have a whole lot of uses for it, but you know, it's handy to have there. Maybe the Phillips driver would be better, but that's the corkscrew. Next up team would be one of the most useful tools on any Swiss Army knife, and that is the wood saw. You could also use this tool as a bone saw. I think that'd be pretty handy for ripping through bone. It is about, let's say, 10mm longer than one on your 90mm. This is the Huntsman here, so it is that little bit longer, enabling you to get a little bit, you know, a little bit more wood or wider wood out of it. But beauty, this would be a game changer if it was locking. It's not, but these saws that come on Swiss Army knives are always really good for ripping through wood quite quickly. They're double tooth there, and they're all very sharp. But I think that would be handy for sawing through a leg bone or something like that, or a pelvis bone. That would be very, very useful for that. So that's the saw. I always love these things. I can't rate them enough. They're handy to have. You can get stuff cut up really fast with them, and it doesn't take much effort to use them because they're so sharp. So yeah, the wood saw should be on every Swiss Army knife, I think, but there she is. Okay team, and this is where this knife really steps up its game. It's with the large blade. You can see how high reflective that is there. You can see the reflection. Very corrosion resistant. It's a lot longer than your standard 90mm Swiss Army knives. And game changer, it's locking. That's a big deal. When you're out hunting, processing game, having a nice lockable blade is a big, big deal. There's minimal play in it. There's a tiny bit, but I don't see it being too detrimental. But yes, that is a great, great thing to have, is that lockable blade on there. Love it. It's always, Victorinox blades always highly corrosion resistant. Got that high polished mirror finish on it. Handy for signaling if you're in distress or something like that, but really ultimately just good for rust resistance. That is a game changer. Here's the locking mechanism here on the side. It's got like a little textured grip there. lock in. It's quite robust. It does need a little bit, and it comes back down. So really, really good. I love that. There we go, the large blade. And they always come razor sharp. Love it. And then we have the very interesting tool, is the serrated gut hook. This is labelled the Hunter after all. And see that serrated gut hook, which will be very good for skin and game, processing a carcass, and that's them serrations in there are razor sharp. You could use it for carbon too, get a bit of extra. If you need to take off a bit of extra material, them serrations are very, very useful. But that's sharp, and that is a cool little addition. I haven't really seen that on a Swiss Army knife before, so I'm dying to use that. Serrated gut hook, it's kind of good. You can hook in, get in around joints and stuff like that. But yeah, interesting. All right, move on. Okay team, moving on, we've got the kind of 3-in-1 bottle lifter slash can opener wire stripper tool. They usually have a separate tool on your 90mm ones. It's a separate tool. You have a can opener with a little handy screwdriver at the end, or you have the large flat screwdriver with the bottle opener. It kind of, they've crammed two tools into one, which is a good idea to save down on, you know, space for the knife, but I don't know, it doesn't seem to do both items as good. You can open a can with it in a pinch if you need to, and you do kind of have that flat screwdriver down there, and you can bend it to use this bottom part for smaller hooks, kind of using it in that motion. But yeah, it's handy to have. It's kind of, they've tried to cram too much into one little tool, so it doesn't do the jobs quite as good. But yeah, not a bad addition. It's handy to have there if you need it. That's the can opener slash bottle opener slash screwdriver wire stripper tool. Righto team, let's give this a crack. Kangaroo salami. It's quite hot. Not bad. Kangaroo salami kebab, here we go. All right. And well, not finally, but second last team, we've got the good old-fashioned toothpick. Gotta love these little things. A lot of people hate them. I always lose them, but the toothpick, it can get replaced, well, you can replace it now with a ferro rod made by, I think it's Firefly or something like that. And that would be a beautiful little addition. A little ferro rod to tuck in there if you lose your lighter or your matches or whatever. It's always good to have a backup ferro rod there for fire. These are handy for obviously getting food out of your teeth or using as a toothpick, but also another great use for it I found is cleaning out the charging port on your smartphone. If you work somewhere dirty or you're outdoors all the time, sometimes your charging port can get clogged with, you know, just all kinds of stuff. These are very good to get all the gunk out of the charging port because it's not too aggressive and it's quite thin, so it fits in there pretty good. That's the toothpick. I love it. Just don't lose it, again, like I always do. I might replace it with a ferro rod. I don't know. I like the toothpick. I like to have it there. There she is, the good old-fashioned toothpick. Okay, and finally team, we have the tweezers. Can you go wrong with a little pair of precise tweezers for medical use, plucking out stings, plucking out splinters? It's just very handy. Plucking your eyebrows before a hot date, who knows? But the tweezers are very good, and these are very precise little tweezers, so you can get into them really fine little spots and pluck them out. I use these all the time around the house, you know, just 101 uses for a little pair of tweezers. So always a very good addition, and I hope they never stop putting them tiny tweezers in Swiss Army knives. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's the Victorinox Hunter Swiss Army knife. I'm very, very impressed with it. The fact with the main locking blade on there is an absolute game changer. The cool additions, the larger wood saw, the serrated gut and hook, they make it a very, very handy knife. Good EDC for a hunter. If you've taken this on a hunting or a hiking trip, would be perfect because it's very lightweight. You know, if you're stomping up and down hills for a long period of time, you're going to want to shave that weight down. So yes, very, very handy knife. And I think would be ideal for any hiker slash hunter. And I really like that deer logo on there. It's just, you know, it's just perfect. So I hope you enjoy watching this video as much as I've enjoyed making it. Till next time, peace out.